Welcome to Riverbend Talent on WBGZ. Brought to you by the Halpin Music Company.
Another Riverbend Talent on a Thursday night here in the Riverbend, Alton, Illinois, the Stratford Hotel, brought to you by Mr. Matt Van Voorhis and Halpin Music Company. And I'm trying to get the closed captions to finally get it right. Last week it was Matt Van Boris.
All right.
And so we're going to have to say Macias Insurance. And actually, he gives his advertising away. So he's sponsoring the Sea Shanty Sing-Along tonight down
Nice.
at Horson's
There you
Irish Pub. He's also sponsoring Logan Chapman up at George's Pub and Grill in
Which, by the way,
Jerseyville.
man, love me some George's. Been eating up there a lot lately.
Okay.
And good music all the time. They always got good music up there.
And scruffy-looking Nerf Herder is at Big Daddy's from 6 to 9 tonight. Butch Moore and Matt Gadigan doing Peel Woodfire Pizza in Edwardsville from 6 to 9 tonight. Drew Schaefer and Audrey Sims at the Cabin at Judy Creek and Glen Carbon from 6 to 9. Christmas at the Mill tonight featuring
Nice.
Mr. Bobby Rowlands. 5 o'clock
Nice.
down there in Granite City.
That's free. That is a free event.
Yep. Frankie and the House Shakers at Patrick's until 9 o'clock tonight. Scott Marlin at Pavia's Place with some good pizza in Granite City from 7 to 10. And Matt Tall already underway. Way out in Dorsey, 5:30 to 8:30 at the Prairie Inn.
There you go. That's a nice Thursday evening in our town. Plenty to do. Plenty to do.
Need to apologize up front to our guest. I listened to our last interview. And, man, I, watched the matches. I knew what was going on. I totally was, into it. And today I found out at noon they were coming in. So I was here at work. I couldn't do nothing. So
We have returning with us Chris Exodus, champion at one time at least, and founder, one of the founders really of what I call the CHWA, the Cottage Hills Wrestling Alliance. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you guys for having me.
Hold on. We gotta get a mic on you there. Try it again.
Thank you guys
There
for
it is.
having me again.
Yeah, man.
It's always
Thanks
really
for coming
fun
back.
coming here. I always get really nervous until the moment we start talking, and then I kind of just, I don't know, I get lost in the conversation. It's so cool. I don't know. I like radios and podcasts because you're in here. You're so present. It's the outside world almost doesn't exist. It's cool. I like it here.
And it's like being in your own mind, man. No, I don't know. This is what cracks me up about what you just said. You get nervous before you come and sit in front of a microphone and talk to a couple of fellas. And how often are you nervous when you walk in the ring to wrestle? Is it most of the time?
Every time.
Every time.
Every
Okay,
single time.
that makes me feel better.
Every single
I'm going to be
time.
honest. That makes me feel better.
Yeah, I have panic attacks almost. My brother and one of my if I have a friend around at the time, they have to normally kind of talk me down a little bit because I'll just be behind the curtain hyperventilating, and I'm trying to do push-ups and psych myself up. And it's I don't know, man. It's just the adrenaline dump I'm about to get.
Oh,
I know
yeah.
it's coming, so my body's just reacting to it.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
It's a little bit of being psyched up for it, a little bit of being nervous about what the wherefores and the what have yous, and
Having fists flying at you,
yeah.
feet flying at you.
and doing it. So you guys started with backyard type wrestling. So there's not much of a crowd in that situation, but somehow when you're in front of a live crowd, there's that extra. Man, I hope I really, you
have
want
to stick the landing.
Well, you're just hoping that it's not your worst night, and you're hoping it's your best, but really hoping it's not your worst. So that can that can get some nerves going too. It seems sort of silly to think about. Oh, I'm getting nervous to sit in front of a mic and talk to a guy. It seems sort of silly to be nervous about. Oh, I'm going to play music in front of someone, or read poetry, or play a sport, or wrestle. Well, but there is that extra, even if you're not that like an egomaniac or anything, it's still that. Well, man, I hope I don't totally flub up here.
And you know what? It's almost addictive.
It's a rush.
Not to bring up a sore subject, but a couple years ago during COVID, I forgot. I completely forgot how it felt to stand behind the curtain and do like stuff like this. Like I kind of just realized I'd always taken the present moment for granted. So that's like trying to be present in the moment is like a huge thing for me now. Like with wrestling and like stuff like this. Like, man, yeah, that feeling is like, dude, I chase it a lot.
So
for real.
And you say with wrestling or with a situation like this, what really the bulk of your life that you can be living in the moment is what you want to do.
Yeah.
So many people I know spend so much of their time living in the past or the future, just hoping for the future to be better, or commiserating about the past. And you know,
living in the past is so hard.
The more you can be involved in the moment, and you know, I had a guy who played in the band with me where I had to look at him one day and say, "Do you realize you're human? You're a human being."
Oh,
because he seemed like he you know, like he forgets. He's just going through the motions of life, and you know, a lot of people aren't aware of that.
Yeah.
So, what about like the
therapy? I wouldn't have that awareness.
yeah.
I'm in therapy right now. I've been in therapy since February, and it's great. So everybody go to therapy. Seriously, it's life changing.
You've had to be in physical therapy for sure.
Oh, dude, every day, every day. Yeah, no, I do a lot of yoga and try to stretch a lot. It's.
So you're talking about the nervousness of it and everything, being behind the curtain, kind of forgetting what that's like, you know, that feeling. You say you do push-ups and things like this. Do you have that moment of like the butterflies in the stomach where you're just like, okay, I just need to sit down for a minute. Maybe where's the nearest restroom, man?
Yeah, oh yeah.
You know?
It's actually a pretty funny joke inside of wrestling.
Right.
You feel like you have to pee right before you go out, you don't.
Right.
And I can't tell you how many times like I've ran to the bathroom, my match is next, and I feel like I have to go, and then nothing comes out.
Yeah.
It's just the nerves, man. And then as soon as you go through the curtain, though, it evaporates. It's just gone. You're like so in the zone. It's crazy.
You move from that, getting the mind preparing and thinking of what's going to happen to now it's happening.
Yeah.
There's no time to be nervous anymore. There's no time to think about maybe I should hit the toilet before I go out
You
there.
can't think of anything except what's going on right now.
Yeah, you're if you are thinking of other things,
you're gonna get hurt probably.
Yeah.
Yeah,
luck be on your side.
You have to be so focused, like, and it's not just because of like what you're doing with the other person. Like, you have to be focused on your surroundings too. Like, people don't understand. Like, you say you give somebody a suplex, you're not near the middle of the ring, and your foot is now going to smack the rope, and the rope is just a piece of like metal or like steel cable that has like a garden hose over it, basically. So there's no give. Those things are tight too.
Yeah.
So you imagine smacking your ankle on that, like, and really hard because you're getting whipped from a suplex. Like, if you're not aware of your surroundings and what you're doing, like, you're gonna get hurt. You're gonna get somebody hurt. So like, you're right. You don't really have a choice. You have to be in the zone, man.
Yeah. And you know, bringing up what the ropes are. Growing up, watching WWF at the time, now WWE, I guess. Things World Wildlife Environment. Anyway, so and you know, the St. Louis, it was huge in wrestling and all that. You would see these guys run into the ropes, and they have that give, and they use them as a spring back, or they throw guys into the ropes or bang their heads into the buckle, and it almost seems like it's this padded rubber band. But I've been in the ring. I was just saying, getting in the ring's more nerve-wracking to me than like sitting here. I don't know, whatever. I don't care. But I mean, because I don't shut up. I could talk all day. It doesn't matter. I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know.
I feel the same way. I talk a lot.
Right.
So.
But getting in the ring with the butcher, do you feel what those ropes are like as you cross through them? And it is not this cushy rubber band thing.
No.
They do have some give to them.
And people think like, see, that's the thing. That's what I love is like when people, I used to do this thing. I don't do it anymore because, you know, insurance. But back when we were in the backyard, I'd have friends at school be like, oh, wrestling's this, wrestling's that. You're falling on a trampoline. I'd be like, how about you come over to my brother's backyard, dude? And I'm not even going to slam you. Just, I want you to fall flat on your back on this thing. And if you can do that 5 times in a row, I'll give you money. Nobody could ever do it. Like, nobody could ever do it because they'd hit it once and you could see it in their eyes. Like,
wow,
this idea that they had was not correct.
Yeah.
Dude,
It's
humbling. It's humbling.
Again, when you watch it, it seems as though there is some give to this floor because you see these big guys go down, and it's a ring, and it seems as though it's padded.
Right.
However, when you get in there, you realize how solid
it's like a porch deck.
Yeah, I was going to say it is truly just a solid, and the only reason it seems to have that give is because the size of the guys hitting it and the velocity. A deck would have the same give.
Yeah, watch, like, if you ever watch me hit the mat, the ring doesn't move, you know? And it's like, I'm 160 pounds, so it's like I'm not, like, I'm not a big guy, but imagine just dropping 160 pounds on something, right? Yeah. You would think it would have some give. The ring never moves.
No.
I was lied to. I was told if you hit the mat really hard, it'd have some give. That was a lie. It has none.
You know, again, if you see a 250, 300-pound guy fall in the middle of a deck, you will see those boards bow. So when you see these giant, you see Andre the Giant fall. I think he could bow concrete. That guy. No,
I have to explain the Andre-sized pothole on the highway if he fell out of the car.
I'm the Dread Pirate Bob.
That was pretty good. I love it here.
You were discussing with us. We'll get into well, real quick. Let's just hit the upcoming event. What is the date you have?
So I've got a couple shows for myself, but I'll throw out CHWA first because that's the home promotion.
Right.
We have a show on November the 30th. It's going to be at the American Legion in Edwardsville, Illinois. It's called Deck the Halls. It is the last CHWA show of this calendar year.
Nice.
And from what I haven't got to see a whole lot of the matches because they haven't been announced, a whole bunch of them just yet. But I do know that James Brady is taking on my boy Angelo Grimsley, my tag partner.
Dude, the guy who got shot for Reagan?
Oh man.
I'm sorry, I got the wrong James Brady.
You have, yeah. 100%.
Oh, okay. Dude, they should call that the Brady Bill, that match.
Dude, I love it. I love it. But yeah, they're going one-on-one. That's going to be a banger. James Brady took some time off wrestling over the past year, but he recently got back.
There's so many jokes there.
Dude, I know.
I'm sorry. There's so many jokes.
He's back now, though, and I'll tell you what, he's wicked fast. And he looks like he's in better shape than he's ever been. But Angelo Grimsley has been training, kicking the bag, hitting Muay Thai a couple times a week. I mean, dude is working his butt off. So it's going to be a fight. And I have heard a rumbling that I may just be in some kind of six-man tag match. And I don't exactly know who's all going to be in it. But I'll tell you this, to the three other people that are going to stand across from me and my two mystery partners, good luck. Because I like more than one target to hit. This is going to be fun. It's the last show of the year. I'm going all out, too. I've got some cool ideas for gear. I've got some cool ideas for some end-of-the-year moves that I'm going to hit. And CHWA, like I said, is my home place. So I kind of go more, to the wall. That's the PG version. I go to the wall.
It's like a team on their home field.
Yeah.
The homecoming game.
On the crowd, man.
Oh, yeah.
The CHWA crowd's unlike any of the other, respect to all St. Louis wrestling companies, but, man, CHWA is just so cool. Like, the crowd, it's almost like they're a part of the act. It's like they're so in on it, and they're so with everything, and it's just like, I can go out there and, like, pull a blade of grass out of, like, my pocket and, like, do something, and they would all, like, react to it and do something with it, and the blade of grass, like, they're awesome. So, yeah, it's the greatest. I love CHWA so much. It's great. This Saturday, in a couple days, I'm going to Murfreesboro. It's really far from here, but I'm going up there. I'm going to believe it's some kind of tournament that they're having, but I'm in that. And right now I'm 1-for-1 at No Fold Pro Wrestling. That's my record up there. So hopefully after this upcoming weekend, I'll be 2, maybe 3. I don't know how many matches if this tournament happens. But, yeah, I'll hopefully at least be 2 for 1. So that's what I got going on. There's some more shows I could plug, but I don't have my phone in front of me to do it. But CHWA's last show's the 30th, and I'm looking forward to it. Really looking forward to it. Plus, I'm excited to see who Elride's going to defend the CHWA Undisputed Championship against. That man is stacking wins.
Man, since he said blade of grass, I can just think of grass.
I'm
Gotta
trying
get
to
over it.
forget the grass,
Gotta water the grass.
Especially-
cut the grass.
especially the leaves.
So the question on everybody's mind:
Everybody.
Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson.
Dude.
Who's your money on?
Dude, I'll say it like this. All right. I'm a pro wrestler.
Right?
And what I do, I'm never going to insult what I do by calling it the F word, because it's very much not that. My body and my medical bills can speak for that.
Right.
But, you know, I understand show business a little bit. And if it's real, I mean, I think Mike Tyson's probably going to maul Jake Paul.
I sure hope so.
However, I will say, age may... I mean, Jake Paul, people talk a lot of smack, but dude's got power. Dude is younger. He's built. He's jacked.
Yeah.
You know, he's probably on every PED on the planet, but he's jacked. But like Mike Tyson, you know, what is he, 50?
He's heading towards 60s.
Yeah, I mean, he's 58, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, it's gonna if it's real, I'd put my money on Tyson, but I mean, I'm not gonna completely undercut Jake Paul. The dude, I mean, we've seen enough of his fights. Yeah, he doesn't fight like boxers like Mike Tyson, but.
Well, so I don't know that much about him. I brought it up sort of as a joke, but my son's been talking to me about it, and he's like, you know, Jake Paul's whole thing is that he's like a decent boxer, and he waits till guys are, you know, Holyfield so old that he thinks he can beat him.
He does.
So he looks great on paper and go, I boxed Holyfield, I boxed Tyson, he boxed all these greats.
Well, he fought Nate Diaz. Do you know who Nate Diaz is?
No, I'm not.
He's
sure.
like,
is that
he's from the UFC.
UFC, there you go.
He
Yeah.
smacks people in the face when he fights them. Him and his brother are like the gangsters. Like these dudes are like, you have to just watch a highlight reel, you'll get it. But no, this dude is like mainly he's never been knocked out, Nate Diaz.
Yeah.
So everybody thought this fight was going to be like a big thing, and him and Jake Paul boxed, and it. You know, it was what it was. It didn't really.
It's a UFC guy who's boxing, though. He's not
that's what I'm saying.
He's not
like,
doing his normal.
And not only that, but
thing.
Nate Diaz is mainly a jiu-jitsu artist.
So it's grappling.
Yeah.
So
and that's
if
what
you
Jake
can't
Paul's
grapple
been
in
doing.
boxing, right? So that's what I mean. He seems to pick people with big names that he thinks he can beat under weird circumstances.
Right, and like Mike Tyson's Mike
hang
Tyson, I wouldn't fight him.
Oh, there's no way.
Dude, if he walked in here and wanted to fight all three of us, I'm hiding behind you two, and I'm the pro wrestler.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? No way, I'm hiding from that guy. But like at the same time, like we also have to chalk up. He's 58, man.
Well,
he's in great shape, but he's 58, and like you got to think like how long's it been since he's really been like how many sparring partners do you think are in there hitting him hard?
Well,
you know?
now, so the again, not to go off subject too far with this whole. This was supposed to just be a quick joke.
Sorry.
No, you're into it. So my son's kind of into it. So he was showing it to me, and he's like, well, this Jake Paul guy boxes. Look at this, where he knocks out, and I don't know who it was. It was some pretty big guy. He was a boxer apparently. And it does look like he hits him hard, and sweat goes flying, and the guy goes down. But the guy didn't even attempt to block it.
Yeah,
it seems
that's the questionable
it seems
one, right?
like I said, dude. I like what you're showing me, but watch
he
it enough.
winds up
I said, watch
Yeah.
it, and you see this guy draws back, and he hits him, and it's a great hit. But this guy did not try to block it or avoid it. He
did
sat there
nothing
and
to
took
defend
it.
himself. He just
so
took the
it makes
punch.
me go, how much did he pay him to just maybe take a fall in the third, or what? You know,
Right. No, I see it from your point of view too.
Now, this is what would be funny is if he says, hey, Tyson, I'm going to pay you to take a dive in the fifth, and instead Tyson bites his ear off. That would be awesome.
Apparently he can't do that. Jake just got those stupid diamond-studded ear guards, so Mike couldn't bite his ear off. He did that today.
Take the nose off then.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Take it off. Tyson could bite his lobes off.
No, anyway, I didn't mean to get off on a tangent. There was just like that.
No
It's just
disrespect to
yeah.
Mike Tyson, because dude, if you see this, don't. I don't want it.
I don't want no trouble, man.
Dude, no.
I don't want no trouble. So, all right. So, Chris Exodus, we were talking real quick once again. November 30th.
Yep.
In Edwardsville, American Legion, CHWA event.
Gonna be a banger.
So, before we started, before we got on air, maybe we were talking about how the last time you were on the show, you had not wrestled for a minute.
Yeah, I was getting ready to make my comeback against IP Mason in March.
And what happened? You were out of commission. That was a broken neck.
No, so last year I won the CHWA title, and I got to the end of August and discovered that I had 3 hernias. Yeah, 3 of them. So they had to go through and fix me. And so I was prepared to vacate the CHWA championship, but I found out that a lot of wrestling companies, I guess, are adopting this interim thing where, like, if you're the champion but you, like, break your foot and then, Denny wins the interim championship, when you come back, you and Denny will then fight. And then there will be an undisputed champion.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
And so
I would kill him.
I did that with I put my money on you.
I'm like a spider monkey.
Oh, I know.
Johnny Bash him.
I know, but man, he used to fight people with my dad, and my dad could scrap. So I just know Denny can. You know,
That's why I
But-
chose him as a partner.
see, smart choice.
The Godfather.
No, but I got back in March, and part of the condition to fight at the time the interim champion Aleister Crowe was I needed to get a couple of wins, because it doesn't really make a lot of sense that I've been gone for 6+ months and this dude has been the champion. So why do I get to come back and just jump the line? I should have a few matches and defend my championship, and
Right.
that. So I agreed with that because I'd rather work. I don't want to ever be handed anything. I hate that. I'd rather really work hard and fight my way through it, so that way I can always say I did it, So I got back. I got in the ring with IP Mason. I won. And then that advanced me into April, where From the Ashes, I faced my trainer, Macias, and I won. And then that led me to May at, it was Lightfoot's last match. Jeremy Lightfoot's last match was in May. It was sold out, and I was the opening bout, so that way Lightfoot could be the main event. I'm glad he was, because he deserved it. And man, packed house, and me and Aleister Crowe went at it for about 20 minutes, and I beat him, and I unified the championships. I became the longest reigning CHWA champion of all time. That led up until July. Macias won a tournament and beat me for the championship. And at first, I was really depressed about it. Like, I'll be really transparent. My grandma died. Like, I was in here last time. I told you guys my grandma was battling cancer.
Mm-hmm.
She died in May, right? Like, she died right about a week before me and Crowe's match. And so I didn't really have time to really grieve, because I had so much going on. And I also won the Dynamo Pro tag team titles with Elride, my brother, and we still have those. And then I also went to Illinois Elite Wrestling and won the Midwest title, and then I won the Rampage Championship Wrestling Heavyweight title, all within the span of a month and a half. I was a walking Grand Slam champion in St. Louis. So every weekend, I mean, dude, Saturdays, Sundays, I was just going, and I didn't really. This sounds really bad, but I didn't really take time to process that my grandma died, because, like, well, and now you'll know, and anybody that knows me knows my grandma is the one that raised me from birth. From birth till I was 28, my grandma was my guardian, right? So I didn't really lose my grandma. I kind of lost my mom, and so I lost the title. And it kind of just, like, hit me really hard. It was, like, the first hard loss. Like, I almost get emotional now talking about it, because I really felt like I let everybody down. Like, I felt like I let myself down. That was the worst part of it all to me, to be honest, was I felt like I let myself down. I let my little cousin down, who believed in me. I let all these people around me down. And then my older brother, Elride, reminded me that every great fighter in the whole world takes a loss eventually. I mean, Mike Tyson, probably the greatest boxer of all time, or in the category, one of them, he's taken a loss. Ric Flair, greatest of all time in professional wrestling. He won the world title 16 times. That means he lost it 17 times.
All the little Hulkamaniacs are just rolling over in their grave right
Yeah.
now. You can't
Tell you
say
what,
that. I'm just kidding.
I know. Listen, Ric Flair, man, that's my GOAT. And him and Shawn Michaels, and they both lost their world titles at times, man. So I just had to. My brother kind of showed me that. Well, then I realized my brother could be the solution to this whole thing. He could take the title from Macias. He's I have an older brother. You know what I mean? And so, dude, we started training together and working out together, and dude, he's jacked now. And, like, dude, he at John Holt Yo, me and him fought. Me and my brother fought at John Holt Yo. He busted me open. It was fun. He won. And then the next night, my brother beat Macias in the main event of John Holt Yo 10 Night 2
Nice.
for the CHWA Undisputed title. We cried. and it just kind of, it made everything feel complete. It made the last hole, like the CHWA title 2.5 years ago to the whole world of St. Louis kind of meant nothing. They laughed at it. The day that Jeremy Lightfoot won that championship, that changed. And then when I won it, held it for as long as I did, Alistair Crowe was the interim champion. The people were ready to see him go. They hate him. They still hate him. He was the dictator. He locked the title down. I would take the CHWA title and I would defend it around the area. He said you had to exclusively come to CHWA to see it. We're two different people. I won. That was like a big moment for the company. This undisputed merger of the titles happened. We get a new title. Macias, this evil dude, takes away everybody's joy, and Elride, the king of the jungle, rises above everything else and takes back the land. You know what I mean? It's just, dude, I love pro wrestling, man.
So
great year.
Just a comment on what you just said there. Yeah, you sir. It's always, you should always probably be your hardest critic. If you're not being a hard critic, you're not really trying to better yourself much.
I agree 100%.
However, I would say when you hit that moment, when you hit the moment where you lost it, the title, you also had this moment, this reprieve from all of these things you were doing. Suddenly going, I'm winning this. I'm quasi winner, the Grand Slam winner. There was sort of a reprieve from that moment that then allowed that grief of the grandma and everything to also sink in.
Yeah.
And you got down on yourself. But to say, I felt like I let everybody down, including myself, this, you correct me if I'm wrong, this is coming from a guy who had just lost being a Grand Slam quasi winner, who had risen to that, but started at a place where every wrestling association said, you're too small, dude. You can't even do this. So you just started your own. So you went from a guy who's being turned down and being told, dude, we can't have you. You're too small. We don't. And you said, I'll do my own thing. Built the CHWA up to the point where you've now gone out of that and getting other championships.
Yeah, man.
It brought respect to the CHWA by having these other people come in and win championships and win it back.
People like
so I'm just saying
to
to say that you've let yourself down is a harsh indictment upon yourself.
Oh,
sir.
I know. That's the thing. So in February of this year, I texted my brother that I couldn't keep him a promise anymore that I had to him. And I'll be transparent. I'm pretty open and happy about the fact that I have sobriety from alcohol. I don't drink anymore. It was like really controlling my life for a while, and I was losing a bunch of weight. I wasn't like a violent drunk or anything. I was very happy drunk, but obviously a problem. And so I quit, and I was having this moment where like I was going through a really dark period. There was this thing where I thought I was having a baby, turned out it wasn't mine. It was it was awful. And I don't even know if grief is the right word, man. I was just done. So I texted him and I was like, hey, I'm not going to be able to keep this promise to you anymore, brother. I'm done. I meant like I'm going to the store. I'm about to buy a bottle. He thought
you're done wrestling.
No, he thought I was done living and breathing oxygen, being on this side of the earth, brother.
Ew.
And so he come over to my house and he was crying. And I realized like, whoa. If my older brother is this concerned about me, I think I have a problem. And so he convinced me to call a therapist, and man, I'm telling you, it was the greatest thing I've ever done in my life. Like that was the greatest match I ever won, was getting over this ego and this fear of going to a therapist and just going. So like it really turned my life around, and like what you said is like really spot, like where I'm in therapy, I'm making all this progress, but like because of all this wrestling stuff going on, I had all this time to not grieve. And then I have this like a little bit of this time to like almost breathe. That grief slipped in, and dude, I'm not gonna lie, therapy is such a good tool, because when I feel that grief, therapy's taught me that like everything is temporary. So like you don't have to sink so low in the bad, because it's not gonna be around forever. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do. So like shout out Scott Hall.
All right.
Razor Ramon.
And on that note of bad guys do last forever, how long till we see Alistair Crowe versus Russell Crowe?
Man, not long if Crowe keeps talking smack on the internet. That dude can make a nun cuss. You know what I'm saying? He's frustrated.
What do you think about the new idea with wrestling that everybody gets a belt? Belts for everybody.
Man, it's a bad thing. It's a bad thing.
It's the new way, right?
Well, I'm not going to name the company, but there's definitely companies that, like, every person that walks out, it's like every match is a title match, and after, like, the fourth one, you're like, dude, what do these kind of mean, man? Like,
right.
If everybody's got one, like, it's cool to have, like, a main title, some tag titles, like a mid card, like a I don't know what the right word is. Like there's like a major and a minor championship, and then like tag titles. And if you have enough women, a women's title. That makes sense. Because if you have a roster of 60 guys, that means you have 3 men's champion, 1 women's champion. You're good.
Yeah.
Like it's a good balance. But when you have a roster of 15 to 20 people and you have 6 title, it's weird. I don't know.
Everybody gets a trophy.
Yes.
Participation belt.
Man, we don't
That
even
would be great. I want to get a big wrestling belt that just says participation.
I don't
belt
even
on
understand,
it.
dude. I don't understand why we wrestle for belts when we don't wear pants.
This is true.
I think we should have like cups or something. That would kind of make me like medals. I don't know. Rings made like Super Bowl.
And the heavyweight jockstrap winner. I don't know. I'm just different cup. I'm sorry. I guess maybe you were thinking of like a hockey cup.
Yeah.
Sorry,
like the Stanley Cup.
Different. I was thinking of a different cup.
Yeah,
that's all.
You were thinking of the Reynolds Cup.
Oh yeah.
Baseball.
We're talking with Chris Exodus, Cottage Hills Wrestling, and November 30th at the American Legion in Edwardsville. And some title matches on the line there on the 30th, Chris?
Yeah, I would imagine so. Most of the time, at every CHWA show, most of the time, you can almost count on the international title being defended. IP Mason is the current international champion, and I'm not going to lie, man, he's been running pretty roughshod, not just in St. Louis. Dude's been going to Chicago and beating people up. Like, he's pretty good, so I imagine he'll probably be defending his championship. I know for a fact if Elride is breathing oxygen and his eyes are open and he can move his body on the 30th, he'll probably be defending the CHWA Undisputed Championship. I don't know about the tag titles. I know that the Junkies for Fame are the current CHWA tag champions. They have been for quite some time. They got a lot of stiff competition, though, man. I got to plug our tag division. It's getting, ever since John Holt, man, it's getting really, really packed. We've got the Revolution, which consists of Quest Parker and Anthony Lopez, these 2 new kids. They've only been wrestling for like 8 months to a year, and they're having matches that are like, they're wrestling like they've been wrestling for like 5 years. I mean, they're really good. You have the team of OVW and now OVW and NWA superstar Brandon Espinoza and Kyle Roberts, Dysfunction. They're in there. And then we have the Junkies for Fame as the tag champions. You got myself and Angelo Grimsley as Dragons Guild. Elride is also our tag partner, but he's the heavyweight champion right now, so he's not really in the tag division right now. So me and Angelo are holding it down for Dragons Guild. Man, I know I'm probably, you got Switchblaze, Garrett Shanks, and Sean Blaze. I mean, dude, we got a stacked tag division, so I don't know if the titles will be on the line, but if I had to fathom to guess, I wouldn't doubt it.
I'm thinking last match of the year. Right? For you guys, it's the last one of the year.
Last show of the year,
right?
man. This is going to be a banger. It's going to be huge.
It's got to be at least one title on the line, or at least title afterwards that must be on the line because of something that happened.
If I get there and there's no championships on the line, I would make some noise about it probably.
And the reason you don't know this, I mean, you created Cottage Hills Wrestling, so some people might be like, how does he know what you don't run it though, do you?
No.
So who runs it?
I haven't ran CHWA in a number of years. There was a time where last year, for just a couple of months, I had to step in to just help with little stuff, like day-to-day stuff. But I never have my hand in any of like the directions. I definitely don't deal with the money. I don't do anything really other than I do talk to the venues. And I deal with the insurance companies because all of my name's on all the stuff.
Right.
But past that, I really don't do anything other than just wrestle. I had it where I was my dad and I were running it for years, but I don't know, like around the end of 2022, I just kind of had this, I don't want to call it an epiphany, but I just kind of realized, like, I think I've done all I can do with what I think this can be, and I think I need to listen to other people and just let them run it. And I just, on paper, own everything, but let them paint.
Okay.
And ever since I did that, man, it's great. So
yeah, you talked about that a little bit the last time we got together, and yeah. So who's running it? Shout out.
So right now, I'm going to accredit a few people that are really, really digging in to do everything day to day, and they might get mad at me for this. If they do, howdy. But Raz Grimsley and Angelo Grimsley do a lot, and Joshua Dillinger's another one, does a lot. He is like what I think Dilly's kind of the life source of the company. He films the shows, edits them, uploads them, creates the flyers. Like, dude does a lot.
And it's super high-tech,
the
too.
person who is helping kind of guide the stories and stuff, I don't know if they want to be known publicly
that
like
makes
that.
sense.
But what I will say is there's somebody else that has been helping behind the scenes, who I would pretty much say is the person to talk to all the time, and that's Sadie Blaze.
Okay.
Sadie is the head trainer at Dynamo Pro Wrestling School. Sadie is responsible for training so many of the greatest St. Louis talents to come out of St. Louis, including myself, Tommy Davis, Elride, like the list goes on and on and on. This man has trained some people that have ended up in like WWE, and he came in with Dynamo a couple years ago, and we just started talking, and he offered to just kind of help, give advice, help backstage, basically be an agent almost. And I said yes immediately, and I'm not gonna lie, with him, the people I just mentioned, and Jeremy Lightfoot, the last year and a half, 2 years, CHWA has just went from like this cool thing to like this really, really great thing. So they all work really hard, so I gotta give the credit to them, man. I don't really do anything, it's all them, for real.
Yeah, we had brought up last time you were on that I was watching the match, and I noticed you were looking at a monitor, and I'm like, that's pretty high tech for you guys, and you're like, yeah, it's off the hook how high tech it is, and kind of explain.
That's all Dilly. That's all Dilly and Raz, man. Dilly and Raz, they both just, those dudes just knock it out of the park. Like, if I just tomorrow was like, hey, we should have a Titantron above the entrance somehow, which is crazy for like an independent wrestling show budget. But if I said that, I swear to God, Dilly and Raz would probably find a way to make it happen. Like they are just, they're wizards, man.
And
the whole team.
That's the vibe of Cottage Hills Wrestling from the start. I mean, you guys were in a greenhouse.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And
a greenhouse that was hot as heck in the summer and cold in the winter.
Yeah. And kept fighting and put all this together and continue to roll with it.
And yeah, we had a lot of help too. A lot of people internally, a lot of grown adults trying to help out. And my dad, man, I wish my dad was nicer to himself. My dad really gives himself like no credit all the time, but like my dad, for real, if it was not for him, there were so many times where CHWA would have exploded. Like him, and just so many other people I could name, man. So just shout out everybody that's put their hand on CHWA somehow, because man, it's all, that was the point of John Holt 10 this year too. It was a big thank you, an open love letter to everybody who's ever worked here, anybody who's ever had one match or 100 matches, anybody that's ever done anything ever. Thank you, like, because without them, John Holt 10's not possible. So.
You talked about going to the Legion in Edwardsville. As you guys were kind of in between a steady venue, and you went to them and said, you know, I want a whole year.
Yep. Not
just one match. And the lady who helped you out there ended up becoming a fan.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
She actually, on Halloween, shout out Holly, she sent me a picture of this. I think it was her decoration. It was a skeleton laying on the ground, and it had, like, broomsticks with, like, rope wrap, and another skeleton dropping an elbow off the top rope. And I was like, that is the coolest Halloween decoration ever. So safe to say, I'm pretty sure CHWA will be in the American Legion Hall throughout the next year. I imagine. So I'm pretty sure we're gonna sit down and talk about that the 30th. So
I did notice some different venues, like one in Glen Carbon, right? Like a sports academy or something.
Yeah, that's our John Holt Yo venue.
Yeah.
They are awesome. So they like the fact that John Holt Yo is normally for like a good cause or normally in like some spirit of a good thing, and so they give us a pretty cool 2-day pass to be in there and just get to do a whole lot. And so we've been there. I think this was the second year we were there. And they loved it. So we'll be back hopefully there again next year if all things go well. So,
all right. And you mentioned Dynamo a few times. That's your sister company.
Yes, absolutely. Dynamo Pro Wrestling. They got a show coming up December 14th in Farmington, Missouri. It's a little bit of a drive, but I promise you the action is worth it. Dynamo Pro is probably one of the, I'd say, premier wrestling companies in the St. Louis and just throughout Missouri. Like, they just top-tier talent, top-tier production. It's great. So make sure to be out in Farmington. And they're affordable. So.
And make sure you're there November 30th at the American Legion in Edwardsville. It's right across from the junior high, which is the old high school in Edwardsville. Down there in that little bend, right? I seen Ruby Lee at the American Legion on New Year's Eve.
Nice.
Amazing.
Nice.
Yeah, so right there, November 30th, doors at 6, match at 7, right?
Yep.
And you can check out the Facebook page to stay up to date. I went through that thing today, and there's so many pictures and photos, and I was like, wow, I've only went back like a month. And I was like, I cannot find anything.
Oh, yeah, our photo, dude, man, we have people that, I'm telling you, people that work at CHWA, it's really a labor of love, man. They love what they do. Our photo girl, Deandra, she just crushes it, man. She knows what she's doing. She knows the shots she likes to get, man, and she's not afraid to throw herself in harm's way. She's almost been laid out a few times, man, but thankfully, we've kept Dee safe for a couple of years, and hopefully she's safe for a couple more, you know?
I got to ask if my girl Maddie's around still.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, oh, yeah. She's whooping butt and taking names. She hasn't been at CHWA for just a little bit, but it's not because of anything bad. Her schedule is crazy.
Exactly.
Man. She just, flew to Rhode Island recently and, had to show up there.
I ran into her at your dad's retirement party.
Yeah.
And she just started going on this list of things she had going, and that was a while back now, so I can imagine.
Oh, she's still going. She doesn't, I don't know how she sleeps, man. I don't know, how she finds time. She is so busy all the time, from what I understand. I don't talk to her as much as I used to, because, we're just, she's super busy, I'm super busy, dude, but, man, she is killing it.
Yeah.
Crushing it. Yeah. I couldn't be more proud of, her, Tommy Davis, Ashlyn Alexander. There's this group, L-Ride, there's this small group of people that, back in 2019 when we were at Mystical Journeys, that little shop here in Alton, we all got really close. We really bonded over some stuff, and life has took all of us in a lot of different directions, but man, we're all successful in this crazy little field of wrestling. And at one point during the summer, every single person in the friend group, Maddie, L-Ride, Ashlyn, Tommy, and myself, we all had championships in St. Louis at the same time, some at the same companies. It was crazy. We were dude, we're running St. Louis. We're not, but it was this cool, so it's really, I'm really happy, and for a lot of my friends, I'm really proud of a lot of them because they've worked really hard.
Yeah, that's where I was going with this. I mean, he mentioned earlier, you took this thing from nothing and built it up to this, and now watching all these people who were involved in it branch out and get bigger and bigger. I mean,
I'll tell you the best part, though, is watching people like Quest and Amp, who are 18, or no, they're 19 now. People like Big Daddy Dion, I think he's 20 now, but he started with us when he was 18. Just all these kids, man, that they started the dojo and they need a place to go, man, and CHWA is that place. Man, you know how cool that is? To know that we're seeing the it's like college football. I'm seeing the best NFL players before they make it there. Dude, it's so cool. CHWA is just great, and I'm thankful that they've kept me around as long as they have. I'm thankful that all the boys and girls, all the men and women in the locker room, they work hard. I'm glad we have like a safe environment. Everybody's allowed to be whatever they are and whoever they want to be. There's no weirdos. I mean, we're all weirdos, but there's like no real weirdos. Like everyone's just like really down to earth, and it's a fun time, man. So like if you guys ever get the chance, come out and check out a show, because it's a real family environment.
November 30th, there's your chance.
November 30th is a good time. Not just then, it's going to be like the spirit of the holidays, like so everyone's going to be in a festive mood. Wear a couple ugly Christmas sweaters. If anybody wears, and this is an exclusive for anybody listening to this, if anybody wears some ugly like Christmas slippers, I promise I'll smack whoever I'm wrestling with them, because I'm not the shoeserweight anymore, but sometimes the shoeserweight must don the costume. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody needs to come in the ring in one of them ugly sweaters and just rip it off like Hulk Hogan.
Oh, yeah.
That would be a little work.
That'd be hard. You know what, man? If there's anybody that could do it, it'd probably be this guy that wrestles for us named Sean Blaze. He doesn't look like it necessarily, but, dude, this man is like a strong man, like a real strong man. He is freakishly strong.
Can you rip a telephone book in half?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. Dude, he could probably like rip two of them in half. Like his hands, are like the size of a frying pan. He's huge. Like,
Yeah.
dude, I would not.
Some people are going, what's a telephone book?
What's a telephone?
Oh yeah, you know what?
Talking about my cell phone?
Like, there's probably people that have never even seen a telephone book in
telephone.
person.
I had to go there. Hey, you know where else I got to go? Is kind of mention what's going on this weekend.
Yeah.
We got Trinity's Way open mic on Friday night from 6 to 9, the old Milton School. We got Porch Cafe playing down at the Conservatory on Friday night with Sean Grizzle on drums. He's from Money Shot, so that ought to be interesting. He's one heck of a drummer. All mixed up at Fast Eddie's Fast Wave at the VFW in Alton, and the Trag Band at the Moose in Wood River, and then Rogers and Dean House out at Baker's and Hale and Godfrey on Friday night. Acoustic DNA out at the Brick House in Bethalto. Whole bunch more stuff happening in Edwardsville and Granite City, and down at the Mill, the Cleverleys, Bluegrass Comedy. Down at the Mill in Granite City.
Cleverly's nice. That's a clever name.
Yeah.
Here you go. Here's this looks like a good one. How do you even say this one? Cimarron.
Right.
Members of Poco and the Flying Burrito Brothers.
It's
So
Cimarron 615.
Oh, Cimarron 615.
Because there's probably like 614 other Cimarrons.
I thought
maybe.
that was I thought that was their age when they combined their age. No, I don't know. No, but Poco and Flying Burrito Brothers.
Right.
Digging those guys. So
Yeah.
members of the,
That's music you can catch on my mix, 94.3.
there you go, man.
That's at the Wild E, 8 o'clock. And right across the parking lot, White Collar Recession on Friday night at the back bar.
Excellent.
So
What else
we got all that down. The Dude Abides in Blue Marlin down at Miners Theater on Friday night at 7 o'clock. Scott Marlin.
Yeah. And a Cree Rider up at George's Pub and Grill. So there you go, man.
And then the Warehouse Project going to do a performance on Saturday at Baker's and Hale. We got the Riverbend Rescue presents Keys for Kids, a benefit at Dueling Pianos at Locke's Brick House on Saturday. Trixie Delight down at the Pump House, and the scruffy-looking Nerf Herder at Sparky's in South Roxana on Saturday night. Let's see, what else looks good to you, Pigpen, as we venture out into Edwardsville and Grafton? Hey, I wanted to mention, Grafton Pub is going to be able to keep going during the winter. They have fixed up their patio to now do winter gigs, so everybody loves Grafton Pub.
There you go.
See a lot of good bands in there, and they do 4, 5, 6 bands on the weekend. So,
and good to see anybody from Grafton getting some winter action. Because that whole town kind of shuts down in the winter.
We got comedians down at the Old Herald Brewery in Collinsville. I love seeing the comedians, and it's Comic Invasion with Shonda Sung, Jeff Batts, and David Kirk.
All right.
I'm glad those two guys had easy names to pronounce. Hey, you remember Animated Dead?
Oh, yeah.
Remember playing with them?
Oh, and are they...
They got to be like in their 60s if we are.
Where are they at? Oh, wow. This is that's a weird one. Animated Dead, DEF CON, Wrathhammer, and Secondhand Sin at Club 110 Melodic Rhythms Music Institute in Belleville.
Yeah.
So there you go. Wow.
So you go to college and you get to see Animated Dead.
That sounds like a heck of a time.
Flip the Frog at Tucker's Pub in Eldred
Yeah.
on a Saturday, and the Grand Band playing the Super Bowl in Gillespie. 7 o'clock. Everybody knows Bezerman Super Bowl up in Gillespie. And on Sunday, chili cook-off with Lanny and Julie at the Holiday Shores Marina in Edwardsville. And Dee's Notes, that's Scott Marlin and his son. They're playing at Big Daddy's. Let's see, Elvis in the afternoon, a matinee show. Edge of Reality Band, and that's at the Mill, 2 o'clock. The Mill's busy.
The Mill is killing it.
So, there you go.
That's a lot going on, that's really barely touching the surface.
BC Homegrown up at Wild Pickens on Sunday. From 9 to 5, so.
Nice. There you go. Left-handed cowboy at the Rustic in Warden.
Did you say left-handed?
Left hand. Sorry, my bad.
We
left
got corrected
hand.
many times
left
in that
hand.
interview, didn't we?
Yeah, left-hand cowboy. So there you go.
And don't forget, November 30th at the Legion in Edwardsville.
You got it.
So I got
Chris Exodus will be there.
I gotta tell you both something. This is a personal win for me, and I know you both will appreciate it.
All right, let's
So last time I
it.
came in here in March, I was a bachelor.
Uh-oh.
All right, I was a bachelor. I was a single man. Well, I can now happily report to the both of you that I am no longer on the market. Vince.
Man,
started seeing somebody a little
Pigpen's
while ago.
about to cry.
Oh,
I
man.
thought I meant something to you, man.
You do. You're gorgeous. The hair. But yeah, no, I started seeing somebody a couple months ago, and at first I was a little unsure about how it was going to go because I'd been single for like well over a year, and I was enjoying being single. But man, this girl, her name's Nicolette. She is wonderful. She's actually listening right now, hopefully still, if I haven't bored her to death. No, I'm joking.
Does she have a title belt?
You know what? Yeah, yes. She has the title of Madam because dude, I tell you what, no, she's honestly, she's great.
I'm trying to think of something you did when you're like 7 years old I can bring up.
Oh, man, she probably already knows. Man, I let her see, like, baby photos and everything already. No, she's great, for real. And,
Well,
like,
it's serious if you're breaking out the baby photos.
Do what?
It's serious if you're breaking out the baby.
It's serious. It's serious enough that we just moved in together and stuff.
Whoa.
Yeah, and like, man, I'll tell you what, like, I have never felt more valued in a relationship, like, in my whole life. Like, it's not to throw shade at anybody else, man. It's just like, she is.
But all you exes, no.
Dude, she is like genuinely so down to earth and just so different like than everybody I've ever dated. Like the way she thinks about things is like so outside the box. Like because I'm such like when one thing goes wrong, I start getting kind of like, oh man, now everything is gonna like go bad. And dude, she has such good perspective. Just be like, hey, everything in the universe is happening for you, even if it seems bad. So just like calm down. Like dude, she's so brilliant. So like. I just wanted to give her a shout out. So we've talked about a lot of wrestling, and I'm not gonna lie, I would not have been like a quadruple champion, and like I still would not be. Right now, I'm one half of the Dynamo Tag Champions, alongside still the RCW champion. Would not be there, and I also wouldn't be in the physical shape I'm in without her, because she keeps me motivated to work out. She makes a lot of protein shakes, dude. She is the man. You know what I'm saying? So I love you, Nikki, if you're listening, and I just wanted to tell you guys, because man. Last time I was in here, I was pretty much like, no women, absolutely not. So now I'm like, yeah, okay, one. You know, managed to.
All right, just one.
Yeah, she finally managed to get through the wall, you know.
I know this other super hot woman that's
no.
listening tonight.
Oh, no.
And that's your adopted grandma.
Oh, man. You know what? How's she doing?
She's doing good. You seen her down at Walmart. We ran into you.
I did.
And I think you had a couple of belts at that point.
Yeah, I had just won the IAW Midwest title, and I was also the CHWA champion and the Dynamo Pro Tag champion. I was waiting to win. I was getting ready to wrestle that weekend for the RCW title. So when you saw me, I had just had 3 of them.
So there you go.
I tell you what, man, she zips around. She moves so good. She's zipped, dude.
She learned from Chris Exodus, who broke his neck and got back in the ring. She broke her back 2 years ago.
See, she's leading by example. Now she's leading by the example.
I'll tell you what's hilarious. I'm going to embarrass her big time, right? So, like, after she broke her back, you know, I'd take her down to Walmart, and I'd try to encourage her to, like, maybe sit in one of those carts so I could push her around. Or there's no way she was going to drive one of those things.
Right.
But it's so awesome to see her in an aisle, right? And some like 45-year-old guy comes by in one of those,
scooter,
and she's got this comedy album about raising up your knockers. Knockers up, right? Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that, man.
Me too.
See, that's that generational mentality I almost wish that I could try to adopt more of, just like no matter how bad I'm like hurting or like just suffer through it without, like, I wish I could complain less. It's hard, man.
We can't live without our cell phone for an hour, and we'll tell that to someone who lived through the Depression like it's nothing.
Right.
You know, I mean, like it's nothing.
Dude, I just had this talk not long ago with my little sister. My little sister's like 22. And I just had this conversation with her that there are times where we will be like just complaining about something so trivial, and I'm like, dude, imagine if we were telling somebody this when they like back in like, I don't know, the 1800s, when people were trying to like discover parts of the world, and we're just sitting here complaining because there's nothing to watch on TV. Like, it seems so trivial, dude. Our problems seem so small when you like look at the grand scale of what you got going on. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I was mad earlier today about like something stupid that my dog did, and I was mad for like 10 minutes. Then I finally was like, dude, this is like, I'm wasting so much time just being mad right now. So yeah, it's like, yeah, being mad is so trivial. It's so funny.
Unless you're in the ring.
What's up?
Unless you're in the ring.
Oh yeah, then it's fuel, dude.
Yeah.
If you're mad in the ring, that's good. Then it's fuel. So then I can hit harder, you know? I hit people really hard at CHWA November the 30th. Deck the halls, man.
Way to go.
Deck the halls.
That's it, man. Deck the hall.
I love that name. The other name that was being talked about was Turkey and Talons. And I really liked that one, but apparently it was more of like a joke suggestion. I thought it was cool.
Well, I can tell you something that people that may have listened to the show have learned in the past. Do not hang frozen turkeys above the ring as a
prop.
As a prop,
yeah. No, that's concussion city.
No,
for everybody else, I'm
well, they drip.
They start unfreezing and they'll drip.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it's raw turkey juice on you.
Yeah,
this
get
is
you all
fragile.
nasty and slimy. Ugh.
That's a fragile porcelain mice story. They told us when they opened for the Urge back in the day. They decided to hang turkeys over the stage for whatever reason.
It was Thanksgiving. It was a Thanksgiving show.
Thanksgiving, right? All bands play that night, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. That's a big night. You guys ought to book a wrestling event that night because everybody goes out and does something.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool. The turkeys just started dripping on them while they were playing raw turkey juice.
Oh,
so.
And they're
Yeah.
slipping
So
and
gross.
sliding on it and trying to keep their footing. And
Imagine imagine going to the top rope and you go to jump, there's just turkey juice under your foot, you just slip, fall.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, that'd be
You
awful.
just like fighting a greased up pig.
Oh, man,
you can't get a hold of anybody.
I tell you what, the ring ropes themselves, sometimes you get in a building that's already hot, like warm.
And sweaty.
Dude, the ropes, it's like they're wet. Like, you go to springboard, just slip. It's happened to me like twice, and man, it's terrifying because you get up there and then you're like, well, not only am I falling, now I'm falling in front of 100, 200, 300. At this show I'm talking about, there were 600 people there.
Yeah.
So I'm falling face first in front of you. Oh my God.
Perfect.
So I wrestle turkey juice.
I wrestle a turkey every Thanksgiving, and I'm undefeated.
Hey.
I always win.
So you're the turkey throwdown champion.
And that is like the ultimate meal
The
for me.
TT title.
I eat that whole thing in about 3 days.
Dude.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing for Thanksgiving this year yet, but I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna eat a lot of food.
I know what you're doing November 30th.
Yeah, I'm gonna be wrestling.
That's
Gonna be
right.
Punching people in their face. I'm so ready.
Something to look forward to.
Oh yeah.
This is
I
not
give
an
thanks
anime.
for this wrestling match.
Tell you what, if it wasn't for wrestling, man, I don't know what my profession would be. I'm thankful that for a living I get to like elbow and kick people. It's
Right.
pretty cool.
Yeah, I give thanks for every face I get to punch.
Yes. And for this Thanksgiving, I give thanks for every head I get to starlight kick and every title I get to win.
Yeah.
There you go.
Everybody should be full on November 30th. That's for sure. They always are. And
We're handing out knuckle sandwiches on the house.
nice at the American Legion in Edwardsville. So check it out. Cottage Hills Wrestling Alliance.
Yeah. So thanks to Chris Exodus for coming down and talking to us
Thank you
again.
guys for having me.
You were nervous at the beginning. You said, it's an hour's gone by. How do you feel?
Dude, it's weird every time.
It
'cause
wasn't
it's
worth being nervous over.
The hour doesn't feel like it went by that fast, but it's like also went by quick. Like, it's so cool.
It's
I
gone.
love you.
Blink of an
He
eye.
started sweating when he
Blink of an
brought
eye.
up his love life, though.
I saw that.
He's like, oh,
I saw
man.
him. He
He's like, I want to say this all right.
Oh yeah, he's like, if I say this wrong, she's coming off the top rope.
No, she's coming off the bookshelf in our bedroom with the elbow, and she's gonna
yeah.
hit me with the boss, and I don't want that.
You're gonna wake up with her standing over the top of you with a lamp in her hand. No, I don't know.
You know what? She's like an inch taller than me too, so I might not see it coming.
Hey,
Yeah,
yeah.
man, you're in
All right.
trouble.
Well, hey, thanks for coming down and talking to us again,
Thank you
Mr.
guys
Chris
for having
Exodus. Thanks for starting up the CHWA so many years ago, being smart enough to hand it off whenever it was time to. And here's the beautiful part of that you started it because you wanted to wrestle.
Yeah.
And now you get to wrestle.
Yeah, and
And
not only do I get to wrestle, everybody gets to wrestle.
Everybody gets to wrestle. So there,
And
belts for
stay-
everyone. No,
Stay tuned because
No belts for everyone.
we got a big secret to unveil in the future with Chris Exodus, so stay tuned for that.
Next time.
We
Next
can't
time.
talk about
That's
it.
that's what we call a cliffhanger in the business. All right. Hey, thanks again for coming down. Thanks to everybody for listening. Big thanks to Halpin Music Company and Macias Insurance. Matt Van Voorhis, you sexy man.
He's sexier than a dripping turkey.
It's sexier than a dripping turkey. That's what
Gobble, gobble.
that's what I hope they put on his gravestone. No, I don't know. Anyway, hey, thanks to the sponsors. Obviously, everybody get out, support local music, art, and wrestling.